In the course of my work as a brand designer, I've come across situations where somebody would reach out to you to design their brands for them, especially when if it is a first time branding that they're doing, meaning that it's just an idea that they have that they've not properly branded. And they reach out to you and they ask you um, to do something to do a branding for them. And you are trying to give them the options or possibilities that, for example, their logo, the different options or the different options or the different mode or form it can assume. For example, colors. They will just tell you something like, "No, we don't want that. Just give us a particular color, and that is what we want to work with." And that is what we want. What we want is what we want. Whatever it is that you are going to be saying, it is your business. What we want is what we want. And I see this as a very big mistake. I needed to add a very, very big mistake that most businesses make when it comes to their branding. Because if your brand elements are not flexible enough, they may not be able to work in certain forms. For example, if your logo, let's say, has two colors, you have two major colors as your brand. If the colors cannot, maybe if the two colors must appear on the logo at every time, there are certain backgrounds that it may not be able to fit on. For example, you have, let's say you've adopted black and red, for example, as your brand colors. If it is not flexible enough for the color for the logo to be all red so it can fit on black, or all black so it can fit on red, or all black so it can fit on white, or all red so it can fit um, on uh, on white, depending on the occasion or depending on the circumstance around the need for it to assume that form. You may not really um, enjoy the benefits of that flexibility. So some people are so rigid to the point that if it does not assume that particular form, it becomes an issue. And that is a very big issue. So this is one of the common mistakes that most people make when it comes to their branding. They are not flexible enough to be able to make certain adjustments or to be able to um, allow their branding, allow their elements to assume certain forms. And part of flexibility also means that where you see that what you are using is not really working as it should work, part of your branding being flexible is your ability to adapt, or in other words, your ability to be upgraded, or your ability to tweak things here and there so that it can be able to attract your target audience, or to be able to, or for it to be able to achieve the defined objective that you set before setting out to brand. And so it's important that you note this. But if you choose to continue like that, with time, you would end up a having a brand that may become obsolete, because as times changes, as things changes, the only constant thing, like they would say, is change. But if your brand is not flexible enough, your branding is not flexible enough to adapt to new trends or new changes, it may soon be out of fashion. It's on this note that I welcome you to your show, Business Sense with Coach Simon. I'm a branding coach and consultant. I've helped a couple of individuals and businesses build or create brands that is helping them achieve their set objectives as businesses, either at the corporate or personal levels. So, and we've been looking at the series 12 common mistakes most businesses make when doing their branding. And what I just shared with you is the number 7th rather, in the installments of what we'll be looking at as a series. And so if in case you missed the other 2 episodes that we've done in this series, you can just quickly head on to Simon Matthew TV on YouTube and enjoy them. And they're absolutely free, so you can enjoy them. And another favor you can do for yourself or for your industry is to also share this. Just share it. It won't cost anything. Just click the share button or copy the link and drop them in your groups so that other people that you feel this will benefit can also take advantage of this opportunity. All right, to be able to learn, because my mission for doing this show is very simple. It is to help you with all of the resources, information that you need to be able to build a globally profitable and irrelevant brand. Then on the other hand, it is also to help you walk through a process of helping you achieve that, meaning that it's also to help you implement that information. All right. So I especially welcome you to the show. All right, let's head on to the 8 parts, or the 8 reasons, or the 8 common mistake that a lot of people do when they are doing their branding. The 8th mistake people make is that they are always careless about their association. Like the saying goes, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. The truth of the matter is that who you associate with is very, very important when it comes to your branding. You may not believe it, but it is a fact. Let me even bring it home so that it not look as if it is very far from you. It is far-fetched. Let me bring it home. How many of you who do business we want to associate with someone who has a known or convicted criminal, somebody that is known as a criminal in the area? How many of you want to associate with their friends? How many of you want to associate their friends? I can almost guess that none of you watching this right now want to associate with their friends. The question is why? The reason is because you would assume that because this person is friends to this person, it could mean 2 things. It could mean that they are part of their criminal gang or criminal activity. Or it could mean that for this person to be friends with this person, it shows that they are supporting their deeds. In the same vein also, in as much as you wouldn't want to associate with someone who is friends with a convicted criminal. In fact, to tell you how serious it is, the person have probably gone to the prison and is out. And he was convicted and there were evidences everywhere. In fact, you people knew that this person did what he was accused of doing. In the same vein also, people would not want to associate themselves with a brand that supports what is not right, or with a brand that seems to be rubbing shoulders with another brand that has been seen to be dealing on fake products, or seen to be supporting a cause that is inimical to the human lives, or to be seen to be associating themselves with people of questionable character. It is the reason why, to tell you how serious some people take this, is the reason why when they are invited to any event, especially if they are invited as a resource person to any event or for any event, one of the things they want to find out is the lineup of other resource persons. If they find on that list anybody who has been proven to have questionable character, they may simply decline that invitation. They may decline that opportunity. That is to tell you how people take this thing seriously. Because there's what is called branding by association. Branding by association means that whatever it is whatever influence the other brand or the other organization has, whatever perception people have about that organization, or whatever opinion, be it good or evil, that people have about that organization, it can rub off on you, even though you're not directly involved in what they are doing. That is why another mistake people make is they put in efforts at ensuring that they stay clean, but just because some of them want to expand, or some of them want to, they are looking for people to partner with for a worthy cause. As a result of that, they go get themselves involved with brands or with organizations or with individuals with questionable character. And as a result of that, their influence, and negative influences are very powerful. You understand? They're very, very powerful. People can easily spot it when compared to positive influences. And so their negative reports about them could rub off on you, because people would begin to think that if you find this person worthy enough to want to partner with them, that means that you probably are in support of what they're doing, or you probably endorse what they do. Even though that may not really be the case, you may have been innocently linked with them, but for the wrong reasons. And so your association too, you must be very careful. You can put in efforts for all you can. External forces could come and mess things up for you. That is why, even with your association, you must be very careful. It is not every partnership that you should accept. It is not every investment into your business that you should accept. It is not every that you should accept. I know a particular organization, a media house for that matter. There are certain businesses that they don't advertise on their platform. There are certain people they don't associate themselves with. That is to tell you how deliberate they are, so that you can be able to stay clean. Otherwise, some people's influence may cast aspersions on all of the efforts that you've put over the years to be able to ensure that you are doing the right thing, to be able to ensure that you create the right perception on the minds of people. So you need to be very careful so you don't make this kind of mistake. Then lastly, as we begin to round off this particular episode, it is over concentration on aesthetics. And as a brand designer, I often come across this, and it's usually something that we have to talk and talk and talk and talk. Sometimes I just give up, because like they would say in this part of the world, that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So sometimes I just allow things pass. You understand? Especially if there are people I can't say outright no to. I just allow things slide, and I just allow them have their way. You understand? See, aesthetics is good because I also preach it, right? I preach it because as a designing coach, a graphic designing coach or trainer, there's a part of my course that I talk about aesthetics and I talk about information, where I talked about the two major components of a design. So in as much as your your branding or your elements should, in as much as they should have that element of beauty. What I find funny is that most people over concentrate on that. Over concentrate on that. See, branding, in as much as you need to attract people, people should be able to see it. It should be like that garnishing that chefs usually do to a meal to make it appetizing, to arouse your appetite. All right, to make you want to grab it and eat it. Now, are there not instances where people grab and they want to take a bite? Just on one bite alone, they just trash the food. I believe probably you might have heard someone, or it might have happened to you before. That is what most people do to their branding. Most people, like some interesting chefs, they all they are concerned about is let it be attention grabbing. And by the time people take a bite, the bite now becomes the experience. I don't know if this makes sense. The garnishing, you understand? The garnishing is the aesthetics, is what people see. The bite, the content becomes the experience. If you want to relate that to branding, it becomes the experience. If the experience is not as sweet, or as it were, if it is not as interesting as what people see, as what actually invited people in the first place, you may most likely become the worse for it. You understand? Because people will not only just walk away, they may also caution other people against you or against your brand. And that is why, in as much as you want